Hi everyone, time for some first impressions of the Oracle of Delphi. And these are first impressions because, I've only just managed to get back with the game. I have played it once, well twice now, if we count this as a game. Although it's not really because hopefully I haven't made too many mistakes and I'm trying to think for two people. But, I've played the game once properly. And I have to say that so far, I am really excited to keep playing it. It's very different. I do love the Stefan Feld, point salad kind of thing. I love Amerigo, Castles of Burgundy, all of the main things that people would point to. And the idea of this being very different didn't really put me off, but it intrigued me to see what it would do. And it does feel like elements of Feld things that you're used to, like the use of dice to do an action, but the comfort in knowing that you're not restricted really to what the dice say. There's a lot of mitigation of what you roll. In here, there's the movement. If I can just destroy one of these player mats here, there's the movement around here in the colours, in making sure that you've got the right amount of favour tokens to be able to change the dice into what you want. Although you are kind of restricted in this clockwise direction. There's a nice ship that I had in our game where I can pay favour tokens to go in different directions, which opened the movement up for me in a different way. There's also the Oracle cards, where if you do feel like you're stuck or you just want some extra actions for later on, if you don't want to move, but you've got action dice to use up, there's a lot of situations where you might get them, then they can give you the right... In this game, they gave me the exact right colour that I needed to be able to do an action. Unfortunately, I spent an Oracle card to do it and couldn't do it in the same turn. In having the same objectives to do, it's a kind of puzzle of who has figured out the best way to do these things. Who has figured out that we need to make an offering in the Green Temple. There is one cube that's right next to it. There's one cube that is miles away from it. But is that cube that's miles away from it right next to another objective, so you wouldn't be wasting your time as much? In our game, the random map had come out so that the Black City tile was right next to a tile where you could raise a black statue. It was literally one space away from it. So I had seen that and gone straight to it, and my ship was, right between the two. So with two black dice, I could load the statue, get rid of the statue. It's a task completed. And it's all about that. Who can spot these nice synergies between going to a certain place, trying to get as much done as possible, and on top of all that, there's looking at the equipment tiles that are available. Maybe I should do this task instead, because if I did this task, then grab this equipment card, then I would have this ability that would let me do this other task that would then let me get a companion, which gives me a crazy power. So it does feel, at first glance, like there can be randomness in the Titan die, the die when you're fighting the monsters, the injury cards, if you get 3 of one colour, what if I just drew 3 of the same colour and suddenly I miss my turn? But it doesn't happen right away, and you don't just draw 3 injury cards. You could get hit by the Titan, have to draw 2 injury cards, and they're the same colour, and then you think, oh, well, that's a shame, I'm now going to have to concentrate on getting rid of these. But really, it's up to you now to decide what you're going to do to mitigate that. You could just take the risk and keep going with those 2 colours. If you're fighting a monster and you happen to roll 0 twice and have to pick up injury cards and they happen to be the same colour, it's down to you. If you keep going and then pick up another one of the same card, yeah, you were very unlucky, but also you chose to keep going knowing that you'd already taken 2 injury cards. So I think the randomness doesn't feel like it's a bad thing to me. It feels like you have a lot of say in your destiny in this game, and a lot of it is down to your planning and your foresight, really, on did you anticipate the different equipment cards? Did you anticipate that this objective was going to be as close to this thing here? Did you anticipate what the other players are doing as well? Because maybe you were waiting to go and get this cube and then do this monster, but the other player had slightly the same idea and has just swooped in and taken that monster away from you, and now you're going to have to go all the way across the map to get another one. But I feel like I'm going on here and maybe repeating myself. In short, I've only played one game, so this is definite first impressions, but I am really excited by this game. I have really enjoyed my game of it so far. Even playing this, fake two-player game was really fun, and I am definitely looking forward to playing this more and seeing what else can come out in the strategy. Yes, there's a lot going on in Oracle of Delphi, but it's quite quick to really get to grips with, and it feels like there is a lot of strategy and choice and variability. You saw me talk in the beginning of the game about how this board is completely modular and can be put together in a ton of different ways. There's also two sides to the board as well. I just showed you this side because I think to me it's nicer to look at. There is this side here where all of the tiles have a border around where you can see the colour you need to get to. We found that was a little bit harder than the symbol, and the colour there is quite nice to me. Whereas when all of this was next to each other, we found it very, hard. We had to keep standing up and seeing, what's green and pink, what's red and pink. Although the symbol is there really, but the symbol isn't there on the, where's one? The island tiles, these here, I'm just destroying the board underneath me, but these, so when these are next to a load of reds and pinks, you kind of had to, give it a little look to see what green and pink is. So in short, I like this side, but if your preferences vary, there's another side for you. So all this comes together in a different way. All of these cubes and statues and everything are randomly seeded at the start, so everything is going to be different every time, presumably, and it's up to you at the start of the game to, see some things that link together, see some synergy in some parts of the board, and go over there and try and impress Zeus. So that was the Oracle of Delphi. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next game. Bye.